day, in the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section. This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp messages, real voice notes, real reactions. You agree, disagree, sound off, text it, voice note it, debate it. Comments section, Monday to Friday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news for this Saturday, February 7, 2026, Finance and Public Service Minister Favour Williams welcomes latest Fitch ratings, which maintains Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating with a stable outlook. St. Elizabeth Police intensify operations in areas with heightened gang activity. Mayday High School student succumbs to injuries she sustained after being hit by a Toyota coaster bus on Friday. In news on the international scene, US wants Russia and Ukraine to end war by June, says Ukrainian president. And in sport, Arsenal lead with 9 points after beating Sunderland. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Finance and Public Service Minister Favour Williams has welcomed the latest Fitch ratings, which has maintained Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating IDR at BB- with a stable outlook. Minister Williams notes that Fitch, in a statement on February 5, indicated that the government has a strong decade-plus track record of adhering to a solid fiscal framework, which has resulted in a sharp reduction in the country's debt-to-gross domestic product GDP ratio. She says the rating, affirmation and stable outlook speaks volumes of the work of the government, in its steadfastness to fiscal discipline and the many sacrifices of the Jamaican people. The minister adds that the ratings reflect Fitch's expectation that although the economic damage and recovery costs from Hurricane Melissa will be large, leading to an economic contraction in 2025 to 2026 and a deterioration in fiscal metrics, the government will return to its fiscal consolidation efforts beginning 2027. Meanwhile, the rating agency projects a temporary economic contraction of 1.5% in 2025 and 2.6% in 2026 as Jamaica advances reconstruction efforts. Fitch indicated its belief that the government will remain committed to its fiscal framework and will actively seek to reduce its debt burden once reconstruction efforts are achieved. Approximately 1,000 contribution National Housing Trust NHT refund applicants are being contacted and asked to resubmit their requests. The disclosure has come from Assistant General Manager for Corporate Communications and Public Affairs at the NHT, Dwayne Burbick. Mr. Burbick made the revelation while addressing a JIS think tank on Thursday. Against this background, the NHT is appealing for patience and understanding as it conducts validation checks to strengthen safeguards. According to Mr. Burbick, the objective is to ensure accuracy and protect the trust against errors and fraudulent claims. He said communication with customers has started and they have been asked to reapply preferably through a different channel. The applicants are being encouraged to use the NHT online portal. The St. Elizabeth Police say they've intensified operations in areas with heightened gang activity. Head of Operations in the parish, Deputy Superintendent Adrian Fleming, was providing the update to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.
One would not think of St. Elizabeth as a parish impacted by gangs, but it is the case. There is a notorious gang and they have been responsible for several murders. Are there any particular strategies that you have in place to treat with gangs?
We are ensuring that our volatile communities, where especially now because of the hurricane and some places are without electricity, we put curfew in those areas, and there are targeted initiatives that we put into these communities. We have a 30-day operation running now called Operation Iron Clock, where we see heightened operational activities at certain times throughout the course of the day to ensure that we are maintaining that level of supervision and presence in our communities.
Up to January 31, St. Elizabeth recorded 4 murders. None were recorded over the corresponding period last year. Despite the uptick, DSP Fleming says the division has recorded an overall decline in major crimes.
Coming off the heels of a 19% reduction in overall major crimes last year, we are at this point, since the end of January, we are seeing a 50% reduction in overall
50%, good.
Major crimes. Well, we are seeing some upticks in our murders. We've had a few. We are putting the necessary strategies in place. We are targeting those persons who are seeking to create havoc in the parish.
DSP Adrian Fleming, head of operations for the St. Elizabeth Police. Meanwhile, Commander for Zone 2 in St. Elizabeth, Inspector Sophia Daly, says the division has significantly contributed to the reduction in last year's murder figures. Zone 2 comprises Balaclava, Siloa and Magati in the parish.
For 2025, Zone 2 contributed significantly to crime reduction, not just in St. Elizabeth, but in Jamaica. Our murder rate, we had 3 murders in 2024. And in 2025, there was only 2. For Balaclava police area, we did not have any murders for 2025. So we reaped great successes in 2025, and we hope to continue along that trend.
Inspector Daly says lawmen are now looking to engage residents in the fight against criminal activities in the southern parts of the parish.
What we intend to do is to improve our community engagement, get our citizens, our residents involved in the crime fighting efforts, because crime fighting needs partnership. Police officers cannot do the work alone, and so we're partnering with the citizens in all 3 police areas through our community walkthroughs, our community meetings, on the corner, or school visits. We'll be reaching out to each and every resident to help them, to get them to partner more with us so we can have greater success for 2026.
Inspector Sophia Daly, she gave the update in a post to the JCF's social media pages on Friday. The St. Andrews South Police Division has listed 15 men as persons of interest. They are Tevin Dakers, Jason Channer, otherwise called Pop High, who frequents the Happy Grove community, Andre Frame, otherwise called Coolman, Fine Voice, 90s, or Speedy, and Samuel Brown, otherwise called Shatty or Mark, of a 440 Drive, Kingston 11 address. Also listed are Andre Brown Jr., otherwise called Biggs, of a Fitzgerald Kingston 13 address, Kevin Roberts, otherwise called Thickman or Yankee, of a Bell Rock Kingston 11 address, Bebeto Brown, of a Calalumuse Kingston 20 address, and Raheem Brown, otherwise called Berger, of a Crescent Road address. The division is also seeking Jermaine Richards, otherwise called Richie, of Penn Road address, Derek Johnson, otherwise called Bush, of Greenwich Town, Kingston 13, Orlando Blake, otherwise called Lando, or Gaza Man of Crescent Road, Kingston 13, and Michael Carr, otherwise called Preps, of Lower Happy Grove, Red Hills. The other 2 are a man known as Lando or Duckman of Happy Grove, Red Hills, and a man known only as Shamar of Happy Grove, Red Hills. These individuals are asked to report to the Hunts Bay Criminal Investigation Branch, CIB, or the nearest police station. Persons with information on the whereabouts of these individuals are urged to report to the Hunts Bay CIB or the nearest police station, or the emergency numbers 119 or 311. Meanwhile, the division has recorded 6 murders since the start of the year. This is 7 fewer murders than the same period last year. A man was killed after he allegedly opened fire at a police team in Harborview, St. Andrew this morning. According to reports, about 5:18, a team of police personnel from the Specialized Operations Unit conducted a targeted operation at 45 Balkan Avenue, Bayshore Park, Harborview, Kingston 17. On approaching the bedroom of a property, the deceased reportedly pointed at the police and opened fire, and a policeman, in his defense and in defense of his life and that of his men, discharged 3 rounds from his service M16 rifle at the now deceased. The now deceased then reportedly fell to the ground and a firearm was recovered from him. He was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital where he was pronounced dead. A black Smith & Wesson pistol with a magazine containing 5 .45 rounds were reportedly recovered from the scene. Nationwide News understands that a Mayday High School student succumbed to injuries she sustained after being hit by a Toyota coaster bus on the Mayday Main Road in Manchester on Friday. Police named the 14-year-old student as Lakia Thompson, a resident of Woodlawn Road in Manchester. Police reports are that the coaster bus stopped to pick up students, then the vehicle moved forward before reversing when it hit Thompson, who was walking behind the bus. The child was taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital where she died while undergoing treatment. The 45-year-old bus driver has been warned for causing death by dangerous driving. The Mandeville Traffic Department and the Area 3 Accident Investigation and Reconstruction Unit are investigating the incident. And now to news on the international scene. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the U.S. wants the war with Russia to end by June, adding both sides had been invited to the U.S. for talks next week. America proposed for the first time that the two negotiating teams, Ukraine and Russia, meet in the United States of America, probably in Miami in a week. We have confirmed our participation, he said. There was no immediate comment from Washington or Moscow, but U.S. President Donald Trump has been pushing for an end of the conflict since he took office again more than a year ago. Meanwhile, Russia has continued its attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, causing further widespread blackouts during freezing conditions. And now to sport. Victor Gyökeres scored twice as Arsenal comfortably beat Sunderland to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table to 9 points. The Gunners looked like they were going to be frustrated by a well-organised Sunderland defence. Sunderland did cause problems with Brian Brobby, unsettling the Arsenal backline with his physicality, and the forward had a shot cleared off the line by Kai Havertz after keeper David Raya fumbled a long ball into the area. The final score in that match, Arsenal 3, Sunderland 0. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. As we go to the recap, Finance and Public Service Minister Favour Williams welcomes the latest Fitch ratings, which maintains Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating with a stable outlook. St. Elizabeth Police intensify operations in areas with heightened gang activity. Mayday High School student succumbs to injuries she sustained after being hit by a coaster bus on Friday. You can find the news on our website at rivernews.ai and on the River News app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 5 tomorrow afternoon, but stay tuned as we go back to more music here on Nationwide 90 FM. Good afternoon.